just your phones or your TVs or your anything. The Europa League is back. It's only July, I know, but it's back. Qualification starts just around the corner. First legs next. That's right, folks, back once again with another video. Today we take a look at the Europa League. It's back, boys and girls. What am I talking about? Well, I'll tell you in a second. If you're new, where you been? Smash your subscribe. You want some shop for Europa League, Blackburn Rovers, world football. We're all here under one Ruski. That big clubs are back. That's right. Shakhtar Donetsk, Legia Warsaw. We've also got the likes of Sheriff Tiraspol, of course, also in the draw. That's right. But who, of course, will take advantage in those first legs? We're going to get into it, all of it, in a second. If you're new, where you been? Smash your subscribe. You want some shop for Blackburn Rovers. Europa League is right here. And a big shout out to the members and the patrons. That's right. We've got, I think, about 7, maybe 8 matches to talk about. So let's get cooking. No rest for the wicked. We're going to jump in the deep end and preview these games. That's right. Coming at you on the screen. Of course, we've got some absolute crackers in there. I'm going to give you my best take on this one. Of course, a lot of these guys are unknown entities, but let's kick it all off with the first one. That's right, Sabah Matia, that's right, up against MK Salij, coming to the Alinia Arena, that's right, Sabah Matia, coming at you out of Azerbaijan, Salij coming at you out of Slovenia. Now, this match taking place on the 10th of July. Of course, never played each other, according to my data. Sabah Matia, under the likes of Vlasir Budućnost is the coach there, winless, actually unbeaten, sorry, in the last 6 matches, 75% form for them right now. Up against MK Salij under Albert Riera. They're on 50% form for them right now. 1-2, lost 2, and drawn 2 over the last 6. I don't have any odds on this one, so bear with me on that. But I'm going to go with my gut. My gut leans towards a draw on this. We're going to start with a draw. Cracking logo by that from Sabia. Of course, it's actually probably the first time I've actually seen them mentioned in any European qualification, so correct me if I'm wrong. We're going to sit on the fence with that one. But next up, we have AEK Larnaca coming at you up against Partisan Belgrade. This match will take place at the AEK Arena. Larnaca coming at you out of Cyprus with Imranu Igdices in the dugout there. 67% form for them right now. Just 1 defeat in the last 6. Up against Partizan Belgrade under Srđan Blakovic coming at you. We're losing 4 of the last 6. Now, these two sides have actually played against each other twice since 2022. 1 win for Larnaca, nothing for Belgrade, and there's been 1 draw between the two sides. That draw was the last time they played in Belgrade back in August 2022. However, they did play also in Cyprus. It was a 2-1 win way back in August. I think we do have odds on this one. Larnaca are the favourites for this with the home leg. Again, 2 legs. Nothing's going to be settled here. I'm going to go with a 2-1 narrow win for AEK Larnaca to put themselves in a bit of a good spot. But Partizan will fancy the chances on the return leg when it comes to their place. Let's go to FC Sheriff. That's right, taking on Pristina coming at you this coming match day. The Sheriff Stadium, Tiraspol, of course, managed by Miroslav Kargalan. They're unbeaten in the last 6. They're on 92% form for them right now. Of course, they're coming at you out of Moldova, up against Pristina, coming at you out of Kosovo. They're managed by Kosovan Asrim Cacic. Of course, never played each other. According to my data, Tiraspol on that great run, unbeaten in at least the last 6. Pristina are just 1 defeat in the last 6. And of course, coming at you right here, right now, we do have basic odds on this one. The odds go with the Sheriff on this one, home leg. And I too am going to go with them comfortably. 3-0 win to give themselves a good start. And of course, maybe 1 foot in the next qualifying round. Of course, next up we go Paxi. They're coming at you out of Hungary, taking on CFR Cluj, coming at you out of Romania. Of course, Paxi managed by Dragio Bogna. They've just lost once in the last 6. And we got CFR Cluj managed by the Ledge. That is Dan Petrescu. That match will take place at the Ferencvar Uti Stadium. That's right. Of course, Cluj unbeaten in the last 6, 83% form for them right now. Just 1 defeat for Paxi coming into this. Got no, we do have odds, basic odds on this. And what am I talking about? Well, I'll tell you. Basic odds go in favour of Cluj on this one. I think I'm also leaning towards the Romanians here. Of course, they're powerhouse at this level. You would expect them to at least navigate this first hurdle in the qualification phase. So 2-1 win in the first leg. Second legs could be completely different. Meanwhile, another juggernaut of sorts is Levski Sofia. That's right, coming at you out of Bulgaria. They are managed by Julio Valisquez. They're unbeaten in the last 6. They're on 83% form for them right now. They're going to take on Hapoel Beersheva, coming at you out of Israel, managed by Ran Kosic. They're also unbeaten in the last 6. Now, they played twice, these two clubs, since 2023. 1 for Levski Sofia, nothing for Beersheva. There has been a draw between the two sides. The last match they played was actually at this venue. It was a 2-1 win way back in August August 2023. The draw in Israel way back in August. Now, coming into this, we got basic odds on this one. This was a toughie. Very, very fine margins between the two sides. I've gone with a 3-2 win here. Goals galore, goal bonanza. Levski Sofia taking the slender lead into that second leg. Next up we go, though, the powerhouses. I don't even know why they're here. It's Shakhtar Donetsk, that's right, managed by Arda Turan. They're unbeaten in the last 6. That's, of course, 75% forward for them. Up against Ilves, with Jonas Rantanen, of course, in the charge. Just 1 defeat in the last 5 for them. This match taking place at Olympic National Sports Complex. Never played each other according to my data, but of course you would back Shakhtar on this one, overwhelmingly so. But I really love to see Ilves progress on this, but we'll have to talk about that next week. Of course, going to go with a comfortable win, a 4-1 win. What happens to the losers, I'll tell you next week. And then into the final couple here, we got Spartak Trnava coming at you out of Slovakia up against BK Häcken coming at you out of Sweden to you and me, of course. Now, these two sides will take place at the Stadion Anton Malakashenko. Trnava, managed by Michael Saski. 4 defeats though in the last 6 up against Häcken Gothenburg, managed by Jens Gustafsson. Back-to-back defeats for them coming into this, and those are important regular season matches, of course. Now, they have not played each other according to my data, but the bookies for this one will go overwhelming. So, which way? Actually, very tight, very tight. Trnava have the edge on this one. I'm actually going to go with BK Häcken, the Swedes. I think they just will nick it on this first leg, and we'll go again in the second leg. And then finally, we go to Poland. It is Legia Warsaw taking on Aktobi. That's coming at you out of Kazakhstan. Of course, this match taking place over at the Municipal Stadium of Marshal Joseph Podgorica. Legia Warsaw at the moment, 50% forward for them right now. Just 1 win in the last 5 up against Aktobi, managed by Vlachis Livchik, the Belarusian. Also just 1 win in the last 5. Now, these two sides have played against each other twice since 2014. Both of those matches in 2014, including a 2-0 win for Legia Warsaw back in this venue by August 2014. It's actually been back-to-back wins for Legia Warsaw, back-to-back clean sheets against them, and they're coming into this on the back of a win themselves. Of course, bookies odds for this, going with the Legia Warsaw Aktobi, massive underdogs here. Going to go with a 3-0 win. Legia Warsaw will fancy their chances on this one, guys. Of course, short and sweet for now. It will get a little bit crazy over in the Europa League. We'll be back for those second legs very, very soon. But until then, I'll see you soon when we return. Until then, we're done.